the sidelines during contact sports and roughhousing in school. Perhaps for a time, my inherent femininity even proved a marker and detriment to my safety. But as we look at the dawning of a new decade, I realize there is power and strength and softness. I remember the first Trans Day of Remembrance I attended at the SF LGBT Center in 2012. I was 20 years old and living in the Castro Youth Housing Initiative, a transitional housing program for homeless LGBTQ youth through Larkin Street Youth Services. I remember back then, 7 years ago, the many names we read were faceless. Back then, the media did not have a large working knowledge of our community. 2 years before, Laverne Cox was on the cover of Time magazine heralding the trans tipping point, and 3 years before Caitlyn Jenner proclaimed "Call Me Kate" at Vanity Fair. We all sat in a room and read names. Picture for a moment being 20 years old, a year into medical transition and already staring death in the face. This was also around the time the statistical fact that trans women of color have an average life expectancy of 35 is being popularized. There I sat, just like you here, afraid, under 35, trans, black. It was as if the world had beckoned to me ominously and said, "Star, you in danger, girl." Can you imagine how you would live your life if you already knew it would be cut short? I decided at that moment, that it wasn't going to be me. I naively thought to myself, they must have died because they were lying and hiding the fact that they were trans. That perhaps if I was open and upfront with my transness 100% of the time, it would spare me from leaving the earth in a violent way. Then I thought, okay, it must only be less cis-assumed trans people that are murdered. And I set out to be as invisible as possible, viewing visibility as a trap that would end my life. I remember sitting in this very room last year, watching a lengthy montage of photos of the trans people that passed in 2018, set to my own music. My voice rang out in this hall, and I watched the faces of gorgeous trans women flash on the screen. So if it wasn't beauty, proximity to cis appearance, or disclosure, then why are we dying at such alarming rates? The Human Rights Campaign outlines 6 areas where denial of opportunity prevents trans people full participation in society. We have setbacks in education, employment discrimination, barriers for immigration and refugees and asylum seekers, exclusion from healthcare and social services, unequal policing and a flawed criminal justice system, and barriers for legal identification. This broad denial of opportunity results in increased risks such as poverty and homelessness, putting transgender people at a higher rate of violence. On top of this, our current administration continues to actively work against the transgender community.
Yeah.
Yet in the face of all of this oppression, we carry on. We choose to be ourselves, to love and be loved, to laugh, to experience joy and sorrow. Trans people are some of the most tenacious folks the world has ever seen. For years, we've been creating our own spaces and uplifting each other in the face of adversity. The only thing I know for sure that has saved my life is community. I know that I will always have a place to sleep, somewhere to eat, and an ear to listen. Without us lifting each other up, we would have nothing. We must celebrate each other while we are here. We must continue to be our vibrant selves and give love to one another to combat the hate and the purposeful misunderstanding that society can throw our way. Tonight, I ask you, to celebrate the lives of these brave spirits who did not make it to today. These were people just like you and I, with hopes and dreams, whose life force can live on through all of us. We can carry the torch. Miss Billy Cooper said it, just like Mama Major said, that when the dust settles, it will be a group of trans girls just like me saying, I'm still here. And this is true. All of us are still here. And we are armed with the knowledge that we can save each other. We are here with the memory of those who couldn't be here. We are a strong group of people who have and will continue to be here. No matter what happens, who is in power, we have each other, and no one can take that away from us.
You look so pretty.
We walk into tomorrow with the memory of our siblings who came before us. And we together, proudly, fiercely, bravely, celebrate the multifaceted, unique, and amazing lives of our community. Thank you.
Yes.